Okay, so this is going to be a very unscientific comparison between a Klipsch R-620S, I think is what they're called. I've already forgotten the name of them. And 620F, a Klipsch R-620F, you'd think I'd remember, and some Dahlquist DQ-10s. So my dad bought these Dahlquist DQ-10s new a long time ago. I don't know. Close to 40 years ago, probably, or a little more at this point. The Klipsch, I think he bought a few years ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I'm not sure. Anyhow, the Dahlquist had reached the point where the foam around the woofers had completely rotted out. So I've refoamed them and just wanted to test them out, see how they sounded compared to the Klipsch. And thought this would be fun to do. So anyhow, I am here in my dad's house with in a tiny little room. And I will flip this camera around and show you kind of the setup here so you can see what we're doing. And then we'll record some audio and do a little sound check. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to record... I'm going to play one song. It's a David Sanborn song. It's from a 1986 album of his. When I was a kid and we would go into audio shops, or even when I was in my 20s, and I'd go into audio shops in the late 80s, this album was a very common one to hear people play, especially this opening track. And then I think I'm gonna. I thought I would also pick out a different song to play. I was looking for something with a vocal. David Sanborn. This particular song I'm going to play is just saxophone. I thought I would try to find a vocal. I was looking through my dad's CDs and didn't really find much with good vocals. I did find though. The Barbra Streisand People CD. Now, I don't know if this is a digitally remastered copy. I haven't looked. So I'm not sure how good the sound quality is going to be on the CD. But anyhow, I thought it would give us a chance to hear a vocal as well as an instrumental. And I know the David Sanborn, of course, was made for CD when it came out. So it should be pretty decent quality. I'm going to flip this around and show you the setup, and then we'll do some testing. Okay, so here's the room setup. You can see we've got one of the Dahlquist here and the other one over here. We've got the two Klipsch set up on the table. We are using a Yamaha Natural Sound AV receiver HTR 5280. And we are playing our CD on an Onkyo, and I'm not sure what version of the Onkyo this is, to be honest with you. I don't know where Dad got it. I'm assuming it was a Best Buy pickup at some point. I'm sure it's okay. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's probably okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the volume. I played around with a meter to try to, a decibel meter, to try to figure out how to make the two sounds match. The Klipsch do not take much power to push them, where the Dahlquist do. So what we're going to do is we are going to set our volume here to 40 on the setting, the minus 40, and then you can see also we set this up with effects off. The bass and treble are straight up. We are on speaker A right now, which are the Klipsch, and what we're going to do is I'm going to hit play on the recorder. I'm going to sit down over there. I'm just recording all this using my lovely phone, and we'll see if we can pick up the differences between the two speakers. So we're going to start here with the Klipsch. Okay, so we are back. So that was the Klipsch. Now we're going to do the Dahlquist. Like I said, we've got them set up here. So like I said, the Klipsch or the Dahlquist take a little more power than the Klipsch. I like I said, I tested this a little earlier. So what we're going to do with these guys is we're going to move it up from -40 to -32 in my test. That's relatively the same volume coming out of the two speakers. And so we're going to record this essentially the same part of the song. And I decided to split these up and give a gap between hearing one and the other. And you have to listen to me talk a little bit, because I actually think it helps to get a little distance from one listening before you listen to the other. I've always found it hard when I was in record stores and they would switch between the speakers very quickly. I found it difficult at times to pick up the differences. I find it easier to be able to sit back and actually listen to the track, and then you start to notice the differences as you listen. Anyhow, that's what we're doing. I'm going to hit play, sit down, and then we'll listen to the Dahlquist. Okay, so that was the Dahlquist and David Sanborn. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch it back over to the Klipsch, and then we're going to adjust the volume back. I've already done that, actually. I think. Let me make sure. Yep, right back to 40. We've got it back on speaker A. That's our Klipsch. What we're going to do is we're going to start People by Barbra Streisand and hear what these vocals sound like. I'm curious to see what the differences will be.
people who need people are the luckiest people in the world, where children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children.
Okay, so that was the Klipsch. I think that's how you pronounce that, right? Klipsch? I don't know. Yeah, that was Barbra Streisand and the Klipsch. So now we're going to change to speaker B. We're going to turn A off. We're going to bring the volume up again to 32. By the way, when I was testing this earlier, they were both coming out right around 81 decibels when I'm sitting in the room. When I was playing around to try to figure out the volume differences. So that's what we're sticking with, and I'm going to hit play and sit down, and we'll record this one.
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world, where children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children.
Okay, so that's our test. So I feel like I could just keep playing music and trying different things out. Like I was thinking, I'd like to hear Michael Hedges on here and see what that sounds like. And sadly, I don't have any like Sade or something like that that I would actually enjoy listening to. But anyhow, that's my little test. It's interesting. I felt like I don't know how it comes out in the video. I'll be curious to listen back and see. On the David Sanborn song in particular, I really liked the sound of the Dahlquist better. They had a much more expansive sound. It just sounded so much broader, the sound. I don't know how to describe it. They almost make the Klipsch sound a little muddled when you listen to the Dahlquist. I felt like there's just parts of the song that really pop and stand out that that just get lost, I felt like, in the Klipsch. On the Barbra Streisand song, it's interesting. I felt like her vocals, when they come out on the Dahlquist, they sound so much more in your space. It's hard to explain when you're not sitting in the room. Maybe it comes across on headphones when we're listening. I'll test that later. But I feel like the voice just sounds like it's right in front of you. It's right there with you. It sounds natural. I felt like some of the sounds get lost, like the violins and stuff on the opening track almost feel a little tinny at times. the bass is almost disappears at times, some of the lower bass notes, where with the Klipsch, like you can actually feel the bass. I could literally feel it vibrating, and feel that. And the violins to me sounded a little more pleasing to the ear, I guess I would say. But I felt like you're sacrificing something there because the vocal to me did not sound as crisp and clear. So I did like the way you felt the bass. You could hear the bass a little more on the Klipsch. I felt like it was cleaning up some of those sounds of the the old analog record. I mean, this was recorded a long time ago, and sometimes the quality on those recordings, you notice some things when it gets switched over to CD, and like the violin, like I said, on the Dahlquist, it sounds a little too high pitchy for me. Almost feels digital. It's hard to explain. Where I felt like on the Klipsch, it kind of just blends in a little more. Definitely the Klipsch is more mid-range friendly, where the Dahlquist feels more treble friendly. I will say, I don't think I mentioned this before, the Dahlquist do have a setting on the back of them to let you choose like the tone more or less. So you can go toward treble or toward bass. I've got both of them set up dead center. So yeah, that's my little test. I'm curious to see what other people think. So post a comment and let me know your thoughts. Thanks.